Good evening. Even this session is also a free session and open session for all because I would like to clarify certain things for certain students. Why this particular course? Because whatever you are learning, maybe polity, governance, economy, science and technology, environment, you take any subject that anyways you will be learning. But why this current affairs course specially and specifically? Because there are various aspects that should be understood by us. That is the reason why I am conducting a separate session on this on the name of the why this particular batch for current affairs, right? So I would like to show you the details of this. Kindly have a look at this. So the topic is why special batch for current affairs. For example, if you look at the issues that are related to polity and governance. If you look at the first one, we know what is the concept of amendment, and we know the related article 368 in the constitution. How many types of amendments are mentioned in the constitution, we know. So what are these methods and how many number of times our constitution has been amended so far? All these things we know, and whatever you know till now, that is important for the general and common examination. But when you are preparing for the higher level examinations like civil service examination or group 1 examination at the state level, you require more emphasis on this. How? Have a look at this. Now, if you look at the Constitution of India, many times it has been amended, but certain amendments have been challenged and certain amendments have been struck down by the Honorable Supreme Court. So that is a big issue. What are those amendments? On what grounds the Supreme Court can strike down a particular amendment? Once it is passed by the Parliament and once a special majority has been given, once it becomes act, whether the Supreme Court is permitted to cancel or terminate this amendment? Obviously yes. But what are the grounds why the Honorable Supreme Court is doing that? Those things we will be learning if there is anything that is related to the constitutional amendment. For example, if you look at the point number 3, even today also many people, many experts say that there are so many things in the constitution that need the immediate attention of the parliament where certain things must be modified. But why are we not doing this? This is the issue that should be understood. That is the reason why reading superficially is not sufficient for higher level examinations. Clear? Similarly, very frequently while reading the newspaper or magazine, you will come across with certain case laws. These case laws may be of 1973, 1990, 1980 or 1996 or any particular case law. But every case law is important for our examination. That is the reason why whenever any case law is there in the news, because of any current issue, that particular one we will be discussing. This is how you need to strengthen. And whenever we are dealing each aspect, it is not just touching the concept and going away. No, we are going to enter into the in-depth of the subject. We'll be understanding basics, we'll understanding the the concept of this one, and we'll be going for the in-depth analysis of this. So basics, concept and in-depth analysis, if you go by this, you will be comfortable in answering the questions in the preliminary examination, and you will also be very comfortable in writing better answers in the main examination. That is the basic purpose of this particular course. During this time, I will also tell you, I will show you the questions and I will also tell you how to answer those questions, how to write answers in the main examination. All these things will be taught to you. Clear? Now you will come across with the concepts like judicial review and judicial activism. What comes under review, what comes under activism, these things must be very, very clear to you. So this we will not be reading regularly, but as and when it is there in the news, we will be having a discussion. Clear? Similarly, importance of certain laws for the examination. many laws are being passed by the parliament, and many times in many examinations many questions have appeared based on the acts that are passed by the parliament. What are those important laws and why is it important for the examination? That must be understood, meaning we are going beyond the concept of polity or governance. Clear? Next, what are the various matters that are related to various ministries and departments, issues that are related to cabinet secretariat and that of the central secretariat. All these things must be understood, and all this will become, you know, the part of the, our discussion of current affairs. This is how we have to go ahead. So this is just basic, some example I am trying to give you only to give you a clear picture on what exactly we are going to do this. Now, if you look at the concept of social issues, which is very very important one, questions are being asked in the preliminary examination, questions are there in the main examination, and a large number of marks have been allotted to this. So for example, if you look at this, very recently Honorable Supreme Court said, just now I told you, Supreme Court under polity and governance, Supreme Court again in social issues, meaning the judiciary can come into picture on any aspect. Clear? Now, recently Supreme Court made it very clear that drop, look at this points carefully, drop patriarchal, sexiest and two finger test from the medical syllabus. So tomorrow it may be a straight question in the examination. The statement may be given as it is and you may be asked to answer this. But in order to answer this, what do you need to understand? So you need to have the thorough understanding of various concepts. What is patriarchal? What is matriarchal? Like this, various terms will come into the picture. And though these terms you might have read in your social issues, but here the point is that how do you relate this to the existing situations? That is the reason why these type of statements are really really important for the examination. While dealing with such type of topics, I'll be touching the basics, concepts, then we'll be going into the analysis, so that it will be useful for prelims as well as the main examination. Clear? Similarly, look at this. In what context the Supreme Court has said this and why? What is the context? It's a serious social issue and related to women, very very important one. Obviously that is very important, you need to pay a thorough attention to this. Similarly, here you need to know the terminology. Lots of terminology is there in every subject. You have to be very thorough with that. So here you need to know lots of terminology and you should have in-depth understanding of the various social issues. This is just one example I am showing you, but many issues will be there. And once you start attending our classes, once you start understanding various concepts and in-depth analysis, you will be comfortable in writing the answers. Please remember, at the end of the day, how many marks, how many more marks that you are getting in the examination to clear the exam and to crack the exam, that makes all the difference. And all our exercise is for that particular purpose only. Clear? Look at this. Like this, many issues will be discussed and it will pave the way for writing better answers. So ultimately this is our objective, this is our aim. Now look at this one. Look at this. Indian economy, you know the concepts of GDP, GNP, NNP, inflation, growth rate, etc. You already know all these things. But what is the current scenario with respect to each of this, which will change from time to time? Those changes you have to update, right? Look at this. Are the factors for variation same before and now? For example, you take inflation. You know what is the inflation? Inflation definition was same earlier and same now, but the factors that are affecting inflation vary from time to time. But what are those factors? Those things we need to update, understand. Then only we'll be getting the marks in the examination. That is the reason why learning is important, retaining is important. Next one is reproducing your ideas, knowledge on the paper in the examination in the form of an answer, and that answer should be suitable, relevant to the question that is asked. That's it. Then only we will be getting the marks. Am I clear? Very, very important. And the biggest advantage with our course is that once you finish your examination, you can drop down. That is the reason why we are arranging monthly current affairs here. And whatever the batch we are talking about, this is with respect to November. Next we'll have December, and from time to time you can renew this. The moment you are comfortable, the moment you feel that your examination is over, your selection is done, and you no more require this support, then you can drop down. That is the reason why with lots of flexibility this course has been created. Clear? Next, for example, look at this. What is the digital rupee, right? And RBI is very much talking about this, and that has been introduced partially on November 1st 2022. What is the date? That is important for other smaller examination. But when it comes to the examination at the higher level, some simple question may be asked, but more than that, analysis is required. Am I clear? And we'll be understanding each and every topic in depth. Similarly, what are the various factors that are contributing for increase in GST collections? Now, if you look at month-to-month basis GST collection by the government, that is touching 1.5 lakh crores. So that is really huge one. The more is the tax collected by the government, the more money will be there in the hands of the government for the purpose of spending. And what are the factors that are contributing for enhancing, increasing the GST collection? Very, very important. Like this we'll be understanding. Similarly, India is now the 5th largest economy in the world, right? India became the 5th largest economy, and when do we reach number 1 position? What are the factors that require? What India has to do to achieve number 1 position? We know that it is not so easy. But India is not a country to step back. India is a country which always surge beyond by implementing various reforms. Nobody expected that India will become, the 5th largest economy in the world, but we are 5th today. Alright? So like this, various aspects where we'll be discussing. Similarly, when it comes to international tasks, you know what is SARC? Where is SARC now? After 2014, no SARC summit was held. So after so many years, can I still think that the SARC is still existing? Now the point is that, is it dissolved? If so, why? If it is not dissolved, why summits are not happening? Is there any possibility that we can revive SARC? And who are the biggest beneficiaries of this SARC? All these things we need to understand like this. Similarly, what is the importance of G20 summit? And all the countries in the world, they are opposing Russia's presence in G20 summit, right? But India is inclined to invite Russia to G20. Why India stands like this? What is the relation between India and Russia? All these things we need to understand. Similarly, ever burning topic is India's permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. But why are we not getting? Are we not eligible? What else the world wants from India? India is contributing a lot in the form of finances, in the form of sending, the military forces, in the form of sending peacekeeping forces. And India is a country which always spread the concept of peace throughout the world. But why still India is not getting the membership, and how long does it take? Does it take for India to become a permanent member in the Security Council. These are the concepts that should be understood in depth. Clear? Similarly, what is BRICS and what is the role of India? Similarly, you need to understand the background of each one. If you just have something current affairs and if you read only from there, that will not be understood. Hence, we'll go back to the background, we'll try to understand more, then we'll be moving ahead. Now, similarly, look at this science and technology. Chandrayaan 1 is over, Chandrayaan 2 is over. Now we are talking about Chandrayaan 3. Should I start directly from Chandrayaan 3? Definitely not. I need to understand what is the Chandrayaan first. So I'll go back to Chandrayaan 1, 2 and we'll be moving towards Chandrayaan 3. This is how our preparation will go on. So that whatever the question you get from there in prelims or mains, you should be able to answer it correctly. That is the motto of this particular course. Look at this, right? So, what are the various launch vehicles of India? What are the various satellites that are launched by ISRO? And look at the point number 4. Even developed countries are looking towards India for launching their satellites. Recently it happened. GSLV Mark 3. 36 UK satellites have been put into orbit by India's launch vehicle. Very important one. Clear? But why? They have their own launch vehicles, but still they are trying to depend on India. But why? What speciality does India has? What speciality that Indian launch vehicles have? All these things will be understanding. Similarly, we'll be looking towards what is GPS, what is Bhuvan, right? What is the this medical technology, latest one, defense technology, and what are the various types of technologies that we are using in the fields like education, the fields like agriculture, all these things. Similarly, what is India's position with respect to science and technology? Are we self-reliant? If so, how did we become self-reliant? If not, what are the areas where we are still depending on somebody else? Like this, we'll be discussing various aspects. Clear? In the similar manner, environment. What are the issues related to environment? And what are the measures that to be taken to preserve, protect and safeguard our environment? What is this wildlife? How to protect these species which are endangered. Clear? Why so many tigers have died? And what is this poaching? How to protect this one? Don't we have various laws? Right? Even then, why all it is happening? Everything that is related to our subject, all these things will be discussed. That is the reason why whatever the payment we are whatever the fees we are charging for this particular course per month, 999, that is just like peanuts. And the amount of knowledge, amount of self-confidence that you are going to get, that will be really immense. Clear? And that is the reason why I kept this course on monthly renewal basis. This course will go on. This course will go on as and when you reach your goal, as and when you get selected, you can just drop down. And after getting dropped down, right, or before, when you are there with me in the journey, and once you are satisfied with with our this current affairs classes, and I request you to please spread the message among others, so that a large number of people will get benefited. And if you want me to have some improvements with respect to anything, that you can intimate me, right? All the suggestions are accepted. And as far as possible, the feasible one will be adopted. They will be implemented very effectively to make you more satisfied with this course. All these assurances are being given by kalyantimes.com. And what are all the topics I said now, and whatever we are talking about current affairs, every class will be dealt by me only, right? Every week, Monday to Friday, 5 days. Clear? And every class will be around 45 minutes. and I'll be giving you the maximum that may go beyond 45 minutes sometimes, and you may watch the class, after 9 o'clock in the evening. Once the class is uploaded, you will get the notification. Sometimes I'll call you for the live class. If you are available, you can please attend. If you are not available, no problem. That class will be again uploaded and you can watch at any time. Lots of flexibility has been provided, and again I am telling you, whatever the fee that is being, this mentioned here, 999, that's a very 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 reasonable, right? And deliberately the fee has been kept very reasonable, only to provide access to the desired people who are seriously and sincerely preparing for, the civil services examination or group 1 examination at the state level. Clear? You might have joined anywhere. You may be taking coaching in Bengaluru, Jaipur, Delhi, Lucknow, Hyderabad, anywhere, no problem. But this course will be of immensely helpful to you, right? And please join the course and kindly get benefited. I wish you all very very good luck. Again, I am promising you, I am going to give you my best, and I will see that your quality of presentation with respect to mains answers, with and your quality of recognizing the correct option in the preliminary examination, right, that will be improved in a very very short period of time. Please remember, ultimately we need the score. Ultimately we need the score, and the best score will be getting after following this particular course. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the class, and I wish you all a very 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 good luck.